So a big welcome to everyone that's joined the webinar today, and a big welcome to anyone that's watching the webinar on playback. So for those of you that are watching live, and for those of you that are watching playback, we've obviously we've had a really interesting and turmoilic few days in terms of UK politics, and UK politics is something that just reflects what's happening in terms of UK industry as well. So so we have a new Prime Minister, or another new Prime Minister, in the form of Rishi Sunak, who has come in yesterday. And so what I think that means is that a lot of the issues that we've been seeing within the economy, which we talked about in the previous webinar, have got to the point where it was just unfeasible for Liz Truss, the previous Prime Minister, to carry on. And so there's been a big change about it. And what that's going to mean in terms of politics, very basically, without going into a big lesson on politics, is that a lot of the growth strategy, a lot of the low tax strategy really is being turned around, and we are looking at what's going to be a much more structured economic plan to really deal with some of the economic challenges that we've got coming ahead. I think from our perspective, certainly we anticipate that a recession is highly likely, and we think that looking at what the case is with regards to other growth indicators, that recession is highly likely. And small businesses, they really need to plan for that, and I think that they need to be planning for those economic challenges coming ahead. I think it's a good reason to plan, and we've talked about that in a variety of our webinars, because the thing is that if it doesn't happen, well, then at least you've actually put the plans in place. But I think everyone is now looking at the fact that there is potentially going to be big changes in the UK market, and that really impacts small businesses in a really big way, and it impacts them on both ends. So thinking about the costs that they incur, so thinking particularly about energy bills. We know that energy bills have been a really big issue, but also thinking about your customers. Your customers have less money in their pocket, and that means that they spend less in store, and so therefore what that means is that can have a really big impact. So being an entrepreneur can be a pretty lonely task, actually, and when you're faced with these sorts of issues, I think that can be a real challenge. And one of the ways of actually dealing with that is to look at membership of some sort of business association. And probably the leading business association in the UK is the Federation of Small Businesses. The Federation of Small Businesses has been around now, I think nearly for 40 years, and I think that it's probably the most respected in terms of not just providing information, but also for lobbying, and also providing support to small businesses. And I think we're now in a time where if you're looking for this sort of support, then it's really worth considering this sort of membership. So I'm delighted to introduce you to Alden McCullough, who is the local representative for FSB, and Alden's going to tell you a little bit about FSB, and then we'll have an opportunity to open up with any questions, or we'll pick some questions up. So without further ado, I'd like you to pass over to Alden. Alden's got a really nice presentation, and he's going to talk you through, and he'll tell you all about FSB. Alden, over to you.
Hi everybody. Thank you so much for that very nice introduction. Yes, my name is Alden McCullough. I'm the membership advisor for the Federation of Small Businesses for the Barnet area and the Enfield area. I've been doing this work for 6 years now, and I'm previously a self-employed business person myself. Just a brief little bit of background. Federation of Small Business has been going for 48 years to be precise. We started off in Blackpool, and there was a new government that was formed, pretty much similar to this. There were some tax rises that took place, and in an eerie similarity, Federation of Small Business got together for local business people to actually talk to the government to get these taxes down. So eerily, it was pretty much similar to what it is. From there, local businesses got together and formed what we know as Federation of Small Businesses, which is now 200,000 strong. The primary part of the organization is we lobby government on one side, so we lobby government tremendously hard for businesses in the UK, and that's lobbying for anything from fuel tax up to getting the right loans, getting the stopping unfavourable government projects or council projects like the bike zones and bike lanes, and also just making sure that businesses out there can actually benefit from an organisation that's fighting for them. The other part of the organisation we've got is of course known as our expertise and services, or part of it. And that part of it, what I quite simply say is it helps businesses sleep well at night. It helps businesses sleep well. What I'm going to do is just put up a little show brochure to show you a presentation that you can see some of the benefits that we do. Let's do it now. Just bear with me for a minute. There we go. So as I've just said, 47 years now, we're a not-for-profit organisation, and we lobby government on behalf of all you small businesses in the UK. Our aim is to help smaller businesses achieve their ambitions. So I know that's quite a strange thing to say right now, but we are here to help you sleep well, look after your businesses so your businesses don't go out, and also give you the expertise and services that we offer to go forward and be successful. FSB advice. One of our main parts that we do is our advice section, and our advice covers a whole plethora of business issues and business sectors that you really need to business needs to do. So one of the main things that we do, we've got tax investigation protection, just in case the tax never looks into your affairs. We do have a lot of businesses that are cafes, restaurants, hairdressers that sometimes they deal with a lot of cash, other times they deal with credit cards and stuff like that, and they do mix it around enough. So just in case the tax never comes in, we'll pay your accountant for you totally, just to make sure that everything is sorted out. You won't lose a penny there. We have a legal protection scheme. That legal protection scheme gives you access to 50 lawyers for you to speak to 24 hours a day, and also gives you access to £100,000 of legal cover, just in case you ever need to go to court or ever you need to represent yourself as something unsavory that's happened in your business. That covers a whole range of different parts of it, which are employment protection, health and safety advice, FSB care, just in case you ever get sick or ill. We put money in there so you can get consultation, free helps, and physiotherapy or whatever's necessary. And also, on our advice section, we do have our insurance service as well, and also crisis management helpline. I'm just going to go forward on this to the next scheme. The legal and tax protection I've just mentioned to you, that has a 24-hour advice line, and that comes and gives you criminal prosecution help, tax and VAT, also jury service. If anybody needs to go to jury service, we give you up to £250 a day so that the money can come back into your business so that you can you don't lose out. Like I said, there was a tax advice upline, and like I said, this is run by tax inspectors, former tax inspectors who now work for us. The employment protection, as we mentioned briefly, employment protection covers every employee that you've got or any type of dispute that you have with them. If one of your employees decides that they want to get an easy ride out of you, take you to court for anything from, it could be from maternity, it could be from the coronavirus personal management, it could be for anything, then we will represent you and make sure that you get covered to yourself 100% in court. The Legal Hub, this is an online legal help hub, which is you can access at any time. You can download over 1,000 legal documents, which are included in all contracts, fact files. If you open a restaurant, you've even got a business plan to open that restaurant. It's an easy to use format. If you're time poor and you need to call and you need to get us to get in touch with you because you don't have the time, you go on our website, leave a message of a suitable time. We will call back to you, and we will get those documents set up for you, as well as amendments and terms and conditions for you. This is all part of our membership. Sorry about that. Just done that. Sorry, just need to go back. Just gone a bit funny. We also own our own insurance company, and this is really important. People say, hey, you own your own insurance brokerage, but we've got a broker already. What this actually is good for businesses like businesses out there at the moment is we look at any insurance that you've got for any insurance, any previous insurance or any insurance company you've dealt with, and we'll give you that total advice that you need, whether you're paying too much, whether you don't have the right amount of insurances. All this advice is available from us. Also, for an insurance company, we do have a coronavirus task. So it's coronavirus insurance cover. So just in case the insurance coronavirus comes back, we are there to make sure that you are covered during the period when you're off work. And also, if you just picked up a new customer, you need to know whether they're creditworthy or not. You have free credit checks from the FSB. This is something that we recently had it, and this is something so that we don't want businesses to lose out and get ripped off, especially in these circumstances in these times. Business finance is very difficult at this moment in time. At the beginning of this conversation, I did say that we lobbied government. We were responsible for the CBILS loan. We were responsible for the bounce back loans, and nobody had to be credit checked. But we also have our business finance sector, where we will give you free advice on businesses, but also lead you to the right lender for you. And that could be something for invoice finance, or it could be just basically cash flow to cover, a bad period. Business support. We give you, like I've just said, we give you business continuity insurance. We've also got free cyber cover for you, just in case you get hacked. Now, at the moment, it's working on about 300 hackings a day in London. We also lobby government, as we said, but more importantly, for something that we started about 2 years ago when the coronavirus started, is our networking events. We have over 200 networking events a month throughout the UK. We have sit-down events where you can go and sit down and meet other businesses and push your businesses there, or online events where you can go and meet other businesses, speak to them, and you can interact and do business together. Also, something that's come from these events are our FSB awards ceremony, whereas every year throughout the country, we have different sectors where you can put yourself up for an award. These are great events, and they're feel-good events, and they're actually there to make businesses proud and to make businesses feel good. Just to finish this off, just to go through our support, we have our magazines. We've always got adverts out, so social media adverts. We've always got our what's the word I'm looking for? We always have online tutorials and online educational tools where you can go online and learn something new for your business. This is to do with the FSB. And things like getting your marketing sorted out. That was a recent one that we just did. Going forward, there's some of the campaigns that we've done recently. All these campaigns have gone out within the last 8 months, and some of them have been very, very successful. With a lot of the Recovery Ready one was actually voted one of the best campaigns out there at the beginning of the year. So that's that there. And who could join the FSB? Everybody, every business from sole trader up to 200 employees can be a member of the FSB. The FSB membership starts at £147, and it goes up accordingly to how many employees that you have. These are our recent reviews. Obviously, we're very proud of these reviews. A lot of 5-star reviews. Our customers are really starting to talk now, and they're really they're really putting their trust in what the FSB are doing. There's some more Just Right reviews. How much does it cost? We've just said that. And yes, that is it for my presentation. I hope that that's come through pretty reasonable. So you've heard. And
brilliant, Alden. That was really helpful, actually. So yeah, thanks much indeed for that. So so to just to kind of add some meat to the bones in terms of of what the FSB actually is. So I think where specifically we have a number of businesses that are high street businesses. What do you think are probably the top 3 elements of the membership that are going to be of use to our high street businesses?
High street businesses, a lot of them are the legal helpline. The legal helpline helps you for landlord tenants. That's the main thing. Landlord tenants. That's one of them. I would say that was the first one. Employment issues. Stuff they come in all the time. I mean, you've got one staff this week, you might be gone the next week. One of the biggest increases in bringing it recently has been staff taking companies to tribunals. That is massive, and companies not actually knowing what is going on. They basically don't know how to defend themselves. That is part of our membership. That helps with the membership. That's part of our membership, and that means that companies can feel a lot more. They can feel a lot more easier about employing staff and not having any problems going forward. The other thing is our relationship with the councils, because the relationship we have with the councils that we forge with the councils, with particularly Barnet and Enfield, means that we represent our high streets if they have any problems with anything coming from the fire. So that could be something like getting fined £300 because you haven't put your rubbish out properly during the night before, or it could be that you were supposed to get a £10,000 grant, but you didn't get it because you didn't fill the forms in properly. We will go directly to the council for businesses out there and make sure that everyone, doesn't matter if it's a hairdresser with a part of a shop at the back, or a company with 50 employees in a restaurant. We will give the same type of help and advice and the same kind of support going forward making sure that every one of these businesses gets what they deserve.
Brilliant. Okay, that's really helpful. Certainly, kind of hot on the topics of discussion that we have with businesses. Probably the first or second issue that comes up is in relation to energy cost, and I think energy cost is a key part of that. You mentioned that the FSB provides a series of discounts, and so I was just wondering if you can just give a little bit more information about the potential for members to save on their energy costs, but also any other costs that are available.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's something that we lobby hard for. So this is something that we do from our Westminster office, where we speak to all the energy providers throughout the country, and we also speak to our panel going as far as Westminster, to get those to look at the tariffs that are out at the moment with all the businesses out there. We're looking for freezers. We're looking for some cases rebates, because some people have been paying over the odds in energy for years, even before these energy costs have gone up. So we're looking for rebates, we're looking for freezing, and we're looking for a cap on the time that energy companies are looking to basically take people to court and close them down and turn off their meters. So there's lots and lots of different things that we're looking at when it comes to energy. It's a very complex subject, but we are there, representing the needs of the businesses, the 5 million businesses in the UK.
And so that's helpful. What sort of advice and help do you have in respect of maybe other costs apart from energy in there, in terms of the different helplines or different discounts or support services?
Yeah, I mean, our legal helpline is there to help. It's not just for legal; it is for general help on rising costs. So we do have, for instance, bank charges. We do have, some organisations have taken out large loans where their bank charges are really too high and taken them out at the wrong time with the wrong type of brokerage. So we do give legal help there and financial help on how to consolidate that, to bring it to a new organisation, and actually to cut the interest costs down, so that the money so you're saving X amount per month. So we've got all this type of information, and we try to give a solution on how to cut your costs and save your money using our tools.
Yeah, that's going to be really important for any small businesses, I think, in Barnet and across the UK. So I think that's great. So I think networking is probably one of the other big areas that small businesses are interested when it comes to membership organisations. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the events that have happened in the local area that give a flavour as to what sort of event somebody can expect to see if they join the FSB?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Okay, so let's look at the event that happened in Enfield 2 weeks ago, and it also is going to be happening in Barnet in the near future. It's for businesses that want to put bids in to tender for contracts for large services and large goods and large services and goods. So what it is that we've put meetings on with agencies that work with larger companies that basically work with smaller companies for them to fill out to find contracts to sell their goods and work in those sectors. And what we're doing is we've got a meeting that we had where we actually did a bid writing meeting, and we actually went there. At that meeting, the members talked how to write their bids, and also the pitfalls and the buzzwords and the timings and the way to do it. So I probably haven't explained that as well as I could, but that's one of the meetings that we had recently.
So potentially something that could be useful for somebody who has a restaurant, who perhaps is interested in getting involved in providing catering services either to a local businesses or a local council. This will help them to prepare those bids so that they can actually tender for that business. And I think that I can totally understand why that's sort of useful. Do you run general networking events as well?
Yeah, we do. We do. Our offline events are just coming back. So we are just actually doing them now. We had one at Middlesex University recently, which was an event for a business startup group. But it was an event where there was where there's an outer element of who wanted to see how the event was. Very strange about see how the event was, to turn up to see how if they wanted to join the business startup group. So that one was that was at Middlesex University. That was about 3 weeks ago. Then we have events where we will hire out a restaurant, pay the restaurant, put about £200 behind the restaurant, and have them give out free drinks for a while and food. And these will be events where we would have businesses just to come down, let their hair down, relax, put the business cards across, and see if they could actually do any form of business together. And then we have other events, some specific events. We would have maybe a social media event. We had one. That's one of them. Last one time that was probably about 8 months ago, and that was in Barnet, and that was with a local social media guru talking about how you can make the best for your business. And then there's a Tax Digital one, and then we've also got other ones which are bigger ones in central London.
Okay, super. So certainly events around Tax Digital. Obviously, that's a key issue for businesses and needing to grapple with that. I think networking as well is a really important one as well. So that sounds good. So final question for me. I think take away all of the economic uncertainty that we've got and all of the messing around that's happening in Downing Street. Probably longer term, small businesses need to be grappling with this idea of sustainability and how they reduce carbon and so forth. It looks like you guys have done some really fantastic campaigns around that. But what's the sort of guidance that FSB are giving to small businesses about how they can reduce their carbon and how they can kind of show that benefit to their customers to gain some sort of short-term benefit, whilst obviously the long-term benefit of reduction in cost and also saving the planet.
Yeah, I mean, the information that we're doing on this, we've got a large amount, as you just said, we've got a large amount of information on our website. We've done lots of campaigns on this, and this is trying to get carbon neutral businesses to actually work together, and also to lower your footprint in the way that you're buying your vehicles, the way that you're you're driving vehicles, what fuel you're using, also to work with, say, if you're in the t-shirt trade, to work with somebody, a t-shirt trade, whereas it's what's the word we're looking for? It's the farming is neutral. Farming is neutral, and yeah, we're just looking to get people aware on our websites and at our meetings of how you can fall into these sustainability sectors.
Super. So I think that from a from the summary that you've given, I think that's a really fantastic approach. I think it's just highlighting some of the benefits of joining an organisation like that. And so really appreciate you taking the time to tell us about that. So if anyone wants to ask any questions or put anything into the chat, if you want to raise your virtual hand or drop something in the chat, and then Alden can answer that.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll stop the recording from here. We'll add any answers into the forum on the YouTube. Otherwise, a big thank you for attending. Thanks to all of the viewers who will be seeing us on playback, and then we'll also finish up any questions.